So anyways, so let's move on to electric aircraft. So this is near and dear to pretty much everyone here. So let's kind of outline some promises of electrification. We all know these: zero and lower greenhouse gas emissions, energy independence, and resilience. However, as I said previously, there is a bit of an issue. So that's not how aircraft sell. So aircraft are basically sold on performance, cycle cost, and operation cost. And there's a couple other nuances. This is why I'm saying these are generalities. So these are the most important, essentially, fix that they sell aircraft based on. What we're seeing with kind of the patchwork is taking that old paradigm. So you're basically trying to put new wine into old wineskins. So we understand how a tube and wing works. We understand, say, a Q400. We understand the flight characteristics. We understand the weight and balance. We understand, et cetera, et cetera. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to make a proof of concept. Val has actually been quoted as saying that the only real way we're going to move forward is if we were to have clean sheet builds. Unfortunately, we as a system, an economic system of creating technologies, they don't really see it that way. We see it in terms of this risk aversion and deployment and all these other components to getting to market. So what you can see here in an apples to apples comparison, the exact same aircraft, Q400, and this is what happens when patchwork is used. And not to slander Zero Avia, they're doing an amazing job. I actually highly respect what they're doing. But this is what happens when you have a patchwork. This is the difference. So if you're looking from an economics perspective, there are some issues with the cost of liquid hydrogen. What they didn't do, and what we're not really doing as an industry, is we're not bridging the economic gap by holistically creating new technology for production and also scaling, but we're also not bridging the gap in terms of performance, which is decreasing the cost per passenger mile. And what you're also seeing here is a range disparity between the Q400 running off of Jet A and the turboprop configuration. There's essentially about a 3-to-1 disparity here. So this is kind of what you're getting, is that patchwork is yielding a lower bottom line in terms of cost of operation and also a lower bottom line in terms of performance. So the competitiveness of the entry of this aircraft, if it were to become a thing, will be far less competitive by X than what is already existing.